This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show, broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Here's Jason Walker.
Yo, happy Friday. Welcome, Jason Walker Show. Inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave, staying dry from all the rain today. Across the state, snowing on McDonald Pass. A heavy wet snow is what the traffic cams are saying, road cam, whatever they're called. Big show coming up today. That's right, we got on this day in history. There's a lot of big birthdays today in the world of celebrity sports. We are going to chat with Senator Steve Daines. He will join us coming up in about 40 minutes or so. I want to get his thoughts on his proposal that he submitted, letter really, to minor league baseball, Major League Baseball, saying, look, let's extend the current situation to 2 years out, to 2022. Come back, let's get going, wait for COVID, and let's come up with a solution to keep minor league baseball in the state of Montana. And others, essentially. We also are going to chat in about 15 minutes with legendary college coach Bobby Petrino. That's right. He will join us coming up, the new head coach of the Missouri State Bears, set to host the Grizzlies September 12th. Will that game happen? We'll wait and see. There's a lot we don't know. There is some different news coming out that's on the positive, but I'm going to start today by ending where I kind of did, or picking up where I kind of ended yesterday, and that is, look, if you don't agree with me on how or what I say, by all means, let's come onto the show. Let's have a normal civil conversation. I said yesterday that, John Burnett from the Helena Senators canceled Wednesday, which is fine because we didn't have a show anyway. And I said yesterday still, I like Coach Burnett. I think he's done a great job, and hopefully we can have him on the show moving forward. Because he was upset with some stuff I said on Monday about I don't think Legion Baseball should be playing right now. And I just have legitimate questions. How are you going to social distance? If the first baseman is standing next to somebody on first base, you're not 6 feet apart. And there's different, it looks like the Legion coaches are going to try to finagle away around like loophole type stuff. Ready for this? The Bozeman coach said that right now they can only have groups of 10 in one area. Okay, this is phase one of Governor Steve Bullock's plans. So, and they don't have to be 6 feet apart. So my statement yesterday of the catcher, the umpire, the batter all being within 6 feet of each other apparently doesn't matter now. And then in phase two, which is when the teams can start playing, they say that, it's groups of 50 or less. Well, it appears as if Legion Baseball has found a little bit of a loophole. And that is the Bozeman coach saying, we've got 5 acres. We can have 50 people down the left field line, 50 people down the right field line, and 50 people in the bleachers. Is that how they meant it? I don't think so. Because those 50 people are not going to be in the same family. You're still supposed to social distance. But back to my original statement. So, a guy that I used to be friends with, and I'll say he's not my friend, he tweeted at me yesterday that me calling guys, morons or guys that, won't come on my show. There's a reason people don't come on your show. They don't want to be berated. Well, I'm berating you more for being chickens and not coming on the show. If you want to have a healthy discussion and a legitimate debate over differences of opinions, by all means, I will give you my number. And I've been saying this since the middle of March, since all this crap started. If you don't agree with me, come on my show. If not, quit being a social warrior and typing out whatever you want and then hiding behind it. I texted this dude last night and said, dude, you know my number. You don't agree with me? Come on. And yet not one person in 2 months of COVID-19 coverage has come on the show to debate me or to have a discussion. And I'll say another name. Is name calling great? No. Should I have said Jack Wagon? Yeah, I can. Here's the thing. I'm going to call you a chicken until you come on the show. Because I come at you with facts. And this is not directed at John Burnett, by the way. Not at all. Just a couple of keyboard warriors on the Twitter. And I've done a great job, responding. I just don't swear. Drop the quote unquote the F-bomb here. But it blows my mind that if you have something to say, you just sit in your basement at your mom's house. Well, in this guy's case, he actually does live on his own. But you can come on the show. And we'll talk. There's nothing wrong with a healthy discussion. But you're chicken. You know my number. Here, call it. You won't. I have another buddy that has a sports show, and we have a difference of opinions on how COVID-19 is being handled and sports. And maybe it's because I'm, older. Maybe it's because I'm wiser. Who knows? If you want to, give all the, whatever. It's frustrating. You know what's really the most frustrating part for me in all of this is I'm becoming someone I don't like. Because of my concern of COVID-19, I feel and sound more like someone from the damn liberal media. I'm not preaching fear. I'm just preaching my concern. I'm not even preaching. I'm just issuing my concerns and legitimate questions that still nobody can answer. Nobody wants to come on the show and answer because you don't have answers. And you know what? Neither do I. Nobody does. But if you want to have a discussion, let's go. Bring it on. I'm all about it. Healthy, legitimate discussion. I'm not going to put you on the air if you're just going to be some jackass. But I don't like being or sounding like someone from the liberal media. I'm not promoting fear of COVID-19. Here's my great analogy for this. What's gone on the last 2 months with COVID-19 reminds me of the all-time cinematic classic movie that came out in 1987, filmed in Bozeman and in Livingston, called Amazing Grace and Chuck. Now, Amazing Grace and Chuck was a story of a kid named Chuck. Had William Peterson, who played Grissom on CSI, Jamie Lee Curtis, Alex English. Gregory Peck played the President of the United States. So this kid decides he's not going to pitch anymore, the star Little League player for Livingston, until there's no more nuclear weapons. The whole world, sports world, comes to a stop. I get nuclear weapons and COVID-19 a little bit different. But at the end of the day, the world stopped 2 months ago because one NBA player tested positive. So the whole world shut down. But that's what this reminds me of, is Amazing Grace and Chuck. And if you don't know the movie, watch it. It's seriously, it's a cinematic masterpiece. It's really not that great of a movie, but it was filmed in Montana, so we claim it. But that's what this is like. And was it Hunger Games had the 3 thing or whatever? Well, Amazing Grace and Chuck had the first 3, and the big one. But so go watch the movie. Some of my friends were in it, and we were jealous because old Jim Hathaway, 5th, 6th grader at the time, I think he got to say ass, or I think he said ass in it, and we were all, we watched it at like Amherst or at the Rialto. No, it was one of the cinemas in Bozeman, but all of our 6th grade, 5th to 6th grade class. Oh, Jimmy got to swear. It was cool. But anyway, go watch that movie because that's exactly what this is like. The world shut down for sports, and we don't know what we're going to do. We're too reliant on sports. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry for sounding like a member of the liberal media. I'd never want that to happen, ever. And if that, look, I want sports, and it looks like we may be getting some back. The Badlands Bowl got canceled today. Not surprised. I actually thought it had already happened, but it was going to be the last year anyway, but it got canceled. And Augusta Rodeo last night said they're not going to hold their rodeo in Augusta in June. So again, it's not fear that CNN and MS Crapola, CBS, all those crappy media stations is spreading fear. And it's not that. But what the hell is so going on that we can't have rodeos in June and July? And again, no, not one of you can answer that question. So I will do my part, I promise, to sound less like the damn liberal media. And there's going to be people pissed off at that too. But you know what? I don't care. You want to debate me on media? Bring it. You want to debate me on anything? Bring it. I've invited people on this show, an open door policy. You can come on the show anytime you want. But not one of you has taken me up on it. One guy has accepted my invitation, and he is a pretty good coach. He's had some problems, but haven't we all? But when we return here on the Jason Walker Show, the head coach of the Missouri State Bears, Bobby Petrino, will join us next here on the Jason Walker Show. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of the Jason Walker Show. Spring is fast approaching and summer is just around the corner, so now is the time to get those windows tinted at Auto Concepts as the sun starts to heat up. Tinting is the best way to keep the sun out of your little one's eyes driving down the road. Plus, it just looks cool. Auto Concepts is your exclusive 3M dealer for tinting as well as the best clear bras in town. Auto Concepts clear bras will not fade or yellow over time. And don't forget about suspension lifts and power steps for your rig too. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com or check them out on Facebook. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. During this time of uncertainty and stay-at-home orders, Dinners Done Right wants to remind you that they're still open. Just go to dinnersdoneright.com, place your order, and then pick it up for dinner that night, or plan ahead and order for the weekend. It's easy. Visit dinnersdoneright.com, register, pick your meals, then pick them up, or stop in and grab meals out of the front freezer. Dinners Done Right's taking extra precautions with extra cleanings going on with every piece of equipment and personnel. Dinners Done Right thanks you for your continued support, and may we all stay safe and healthy during this time.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Oh, it is finally Friday here on the Jason Walker Show. Having a great time. Senator Steve Daines will join us here coming up. We'll chat about the letter he sent off to Commissioner Rob Manfred, Major League Baseball, trying to keep Pioneer League Baseball and keep minor league baseball the way it is. And we have On This Day in History and a whole bunch more still to come. But excited to talk to our first guest today on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. I have never spoken with this man. I have talked to, I guess, cousins and brothers and I don't know who else, but lots of family members. But it is head coach of Missouri State Bears, Bobby Petrino, joining us. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing great. How's it going?
You know, I'm doing well. It's just sitting here in Helena and trying to stay dry. It's really rainy, which you don't like if you're a golf guy. But yeah, we're having a good time here.
Well, that's good. It's been a while since I've been in Helena, but I understand you've had a lot of snow, so I'm glad I'm not there.
It's gone over the years or over the months, up and down. But yeah, you know how Helena is. Speaking of Missouri State, and that's where you're at, how far from Lake of the Ozarks are you?
I think we're about an hour and 15 minutes from the Lake of the Ozarks, and then there's another lake 35 minutes away called Table Rock. So a lot of nice outdoors.
Well, I ask because of the TV show on Netflix, Ozark, which is just huge right now, but stay away from Lake of the Ozarks. It looks, it looks dangerous. Bobby Petrino joining us here, Jason Walker Show. Have you ever gotten tired of the family history questions of the coaching tree and the legacy?
No, not really. It brings back great memories, to be honest with you. The thoughts of my dad and his accomplishments and all the things that he did at Carroll College and built there. And, when my dad first took the job at Carroll College, I had my twin uncles were going to school there. And both of them told him not to take the job. Don't take the job. We can't win at football here. We've never been any good at football here. And he sure turned that around in a hurry.
That's a mild understatement. And great succession from Coach Petrino to Coach Van Diest and now Purcell. We'll see how he holds up that legacy. Missouri State just came out with some news today, Coach. It's kind of exciting, and amongst all of this COVID-19 talk, it's a chance for maybe some normalcy to start to return. The campus is going to open up next month, and that includes student athletes.
Yeah, my understanding is it isn't completely stamped yet, that next week there's another meeting on it, but it looks like the way everything's going, that by June 1st or the week of June 1st, we'll be able to bring students back to work out in our facilities, which is a great deal. It'd be voluntary workouts in the weight room and be able to go out and condition and run and throw the football around together. something that would be exciting. You know, we took the job here in January, and we're all set to start spring football. And then this all hit, so we haven't had one day of practice with our players at all.
How tough has that been? Because as a new coach and a new system, you want to get going as soon as possible so that when fall camp rolls around, most of the guys are somewhat ready. You can only do so much via Zoom or social media. So how have you guys been able to adapt?
Well, we've tried to be real positive with it and take the idea that we're going to work hard at our teaching and challenge our players to learn, and you know, been creative with some tests and things we wanted to do with them. And all of that's going well. I think that they've learned a lot about, you know, what the offensive philosophy is, what plays we like, the defensive philosophy, what plays we like. The things that's missing is we haven't watched them perform on the field. We don't have any idea if they can do it. You know, what they can do physically, and how they play the game of football is an unknown right now. So, but there's not a lot we can do about it. Our guys have been good. They worked hard on their academics. They all made sure they were in a safe place and taking care of themselves and their family. So hopefully we get this behind us and get to move forward here soon.
Coach Bobby Petrino joining us here, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. He's at Missouri State. Coach has watched a lot of film as it is. And with the last 2 months not being able to do spring ball, how much of the old film of the Bears have you watched in preparation for what you want to go do once the season gets started?
Yeah, you know, what we did is we just watched the individual. So we made tapes of the individual players, something that I call 15-5 tapes. So we made tapes of 15 good plays that they did, 5 not so good plays, so we can evaluate them on an individual basis, and not really watching, you know, game tape or scheme tapes because it doesn't relate to anything that we would do. So it's basically just been to try to get to know what type of talent we have here and how to utilize it, where the starting point is, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm. Why Missouri State?
Well, I thought it was a great challenge. You know, they haven't had a lot of success here, and it's a place I'm very familiar with. When I was the head coach at the University of Arkansas, I came up here, watched my daughter in a couple golf tournaments. Both her and my son took a visit here to consider going to school here. So I went with my daughter to one of them. It's a beautiful place. It's a great campus. We got 26,000 students, and the football stadium's right in the middle of campus. So it's hard to kind of figure out, you know, why there hasn't been a lot of success here. But I'm excited about it. I think it's an ultimate challenge, a great place to recruit to, and a great university to recruit to.
Is this your final stop?
Nah, I'm getting up in those years, I guess. You know, it's one of those deals where, you know, I sat out a year ago, and I just knew that it wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to come back and continue to teach the game of football and you know, teach life lessons to players and, you know, help coaches. I just missed it. I missed the game. I missed being around the other coaches. I missed teaching the players and teaching them how to compete and how to excel. So it's great to be back. I was truly excited for spring ball, and then we just changed the direction a little bit. So, but I'm still fired up about it. I think when we get our new guys here, which are, you know, we have about 30 new guys that will be coming in. It'll be fun to see what we got.
How tough was it to recruit, Coach, with the COVID-19 situation?
Well, the issue really was that, you know, there was 21 guys already signed when I took the job. So in our division, we can sign 30. So we had 9 scholarships left. We went out, made the decision to go out and sign 8 more players. We really focused on defensive linemen and linebackers and a speed receiver. I think we did a good job with those 8 guys. And then we saved a scholarship thinking that there would be a quarterback around that goes into the transfer portal, because that's what quarterbacks do. Mm-hmm. So after, you know, we were thinking after spring ball, there'll be a guy, and just so happened that we got a guy that I recruited really hard out of high school, an old 4-star player that decided to transfer, and he chose to come here, and we're excited about that. He's very, very talented. and a great leader. So I think that'll help us a lot.
This is a different time as Bobby Petrino joins us here at Jason Walker Show, the coach at Missouri State. Dropping to the FCS level, it's obviously a very tough league, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But what's the biggest difference for you going to be, do you think?
Well, I think just the going back to the evaluating players and projecting, and some of the conferences that I've been in the last few stops, you're recruiting really top high players throughout the country. A lot of them already developed or, close to being developed. And I think the greatest challenge here is to find those guys that are maybe only played 1 or 2 years of high school football, or skinny, tall, skinny tight ends with all kinds of athletic ability that were good basketball players. And, recruit guys like that grow into either playing tight end or playing offensive lineman or playing defensive lineman, and then grow into being an NFL player. So have to go back to the days I coached at the University of Idaho and how we recruited there and how we projected players there. So I think that's the biggest challenge. And like I said, I think we got a great place to recruit to and a great area. We're close to a lot of cities that have speed, and junior colleges right down the road in Kansas and Mississippi. So I think that's an area we'll look at too.
You're not the only Petrino in the conference. That's Jason and Jared over at Southern Illinois, and it's very cool. What's it like to coach against family?
Well, I haven't done it yet. I haven't coached against them yet. But we've been battling a little bit in recruiting right now.
Sure.
It is funny because I was with them at the national convention in Nashville, and I was asking them all kinds of questions about the conference and about Missouri State and what are they like, and why haven't they been able to be successful, and they had no idea that the next night I was interviewing with the president and the athletic director for the job. So at least I got some good inside information, and tried to get information from them before they found out I was coming here as the head coach.
Because now they're not going to share. Bobby Petrino joining us here, Jason Walker Show. Did you give any thought to applying at Carroll after Coach Van Diest retired?
I really didn't. I probably should have. I would love to have went back and did that, but I didn't even really think about it. It was at the time when, when you get let go of a job, you're angry and mad and can't understand it, especially the success we had at the University of Louisville. So I really had made up my mind right away that I just need to stay away and take a year off and see where it falls. And, fortunately I could retire if I wanted to, but I'm not ready to, and I'm excited to get back in it.
I talked to Jared a couple of years ago, and we both teased Mike, who's now the head coach of the Lady Grizz on the interim basis, but he's the only one that didn't go of the Petrino clan into football. And how much do you give him a hard time still?
No, I don't give Mike a hard time about that at all. He found his niche, and he's done great with it. He's been very successful, and I think that's exciting for him. It's been fun though with the family. My dad, my two uncles, and my brother doing a great job at Idaho, and then seeing my nephews grow up and get in it. I've got a son that's coaching for me, so there's a lot of football, a lot of stories, a lot of fun. We need to get together more, and especially go back to Montana and get together and be able to tell stories.
I think that would be fantastic, is to get all of you guys together and just plop you in, Lewistown at maybe the Yogo or something, and everybody just sit down, and I'd love to be a fly on the wall of those conversations. Just no video cameras, no recording devices at all, just the stories that you guys could tell. I bet you that'd be one heck of a night.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. We'd probably do it in Fairmont, though. That was kind of where we used to hang out and have fun. And, a place where you can enjoy yourself and still drive into Lydia's and Butte and get some good spaghetti.
So, there you go.
That would be more of the game plan.
I like that. Bobby Petrino joining us, the Missouri State football coach. You're set to host Montana September the 12th. as tough as your conference is, that's a game that are you looking forward to? Because it was already scheduled, I'm sure, before you got the job.
Yeah, it was already scheduled, but yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it. It's been fun. We've been spending a lot of time on watching their video and game planning and going through stuff to get ready for that game. They're where we want to get to as a program, place where they fill the stadium every home game, get to the playoffs. They've got great tradition and, play a great brand of football. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great challenge for us. It'll show us where we stand. We opened the season with Oklahoma, and then we got Montana at home. So it's certainly a game that we'll be able to find out where we're at and evaluate. Certainly one that we definitely want to.
There's some great teams in your conference, Coach. We mentioned Southern Illinois, where Jason and Jared are at, but Northern Iowa, and then, oh, by the way, North Dakota State just happens to be in your conference, and you get them at home this year.
Yeah, it's an awesome conference. I guess I've heard people describe it as the SEC conference of the FCS. And when you look at it and see the national champions coming out of it, all the great competition, I see it as a great challenge and, something that we're looking forward to. And we've got to get in a position where we can compete for the conference championship and go to the playoffs and find a way to win a national championship. That's what I'd love to see us do here.
All right, so you said Louisville instead of Louisville. So Louisville, is it Missouri State or Missouri State?
I think we pronounce it Missouri.
Missouri, okay. Because you got the whole Midwest, you guys are kind of weird with how you pronounce everything out there.
Yeah, I know. And then I go and see my mom and my sisters, and I think, man, did I used to talk like that? I can't remember that, Sometimes I talk to my sister, I feel like it's in the movie Fargo,
Jeez.
So I guess that's the thing that's great about, being able to move around and all the different places that the game of football has brought me is to see all the difference in society. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I've been very fortunate. But I do love Montana. It's a great place. And my mom still lives there and my sister that still lives there. And it's a place that, we try to get back to once a year.
How's the golf game?
Oh, man, not very good.
You've had time during COVID.
Here. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it got very good a year ago. I spent most of my time down in Florida, and the clock wasn't ticking very fast when you're semi-retired. So I actually even went over and practiced and, played a lot and did very well. But since I've been here, the hot one day and rain for 3. So haven't really been out there playing a whole lot.
Bobby Petrino joining us here. A couple of final quick questions for you. But when you look back on your time in Helena, what stands out the most?
I guess just growing up in the city of Helena, going to C.R. Anderson, Broadwater, grade school, being able to leave the school and run 3 blocks and be on Carroll College practice field, with my dad. And then, my experience at Capitol High School. Mm-hmm. We just started the high school. I guess I was an 8th grader or 7th grader when they started the high school. And we were the first class through to win a state championship. So that was a lot of fun and something that's a great memory. And then being able to play both basketball and football at Carroll College and, the pride that everybody takes in being a Fighting Saint, I think is something that I've always carried with me.
Do you know how many championships the Petrino family has as a whole?
No, I don't.
I think it'd be something to look at between, the high schools with yours, and then of course, Kyle and what he did and Mark. But it's just a crazy. I think it's the best coaching tree, and it's one family, and it's nuts.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And like I said, I think it all started with my dad, his love for the game, but his love for teaching, and teaching young men, how you should be and how you should act. And he raised a lot of guys at his time at Carroll College. And, it was a great experience for me because we played with kids that worked all summer long. I worked at Cloverleaf Dairy. I was a milkman going through college. And, I think you learn a lot by having to do that, and something that I've carried with me throughout my entire career.
So next year we expect a game with Paul in Idaho.
Oh, that'd be fun. I'd love for it, but make them come out here. That would be the thing I'd rather do, is make them come out here to play us.
Well, you guys have all.
No, that would be great.
Yeah, you have the pull in that. I don't know if I have any say in that one. Coach Petrino, appreciate the time. I've never gotten the chance to talk to you. This has been fun, and hopefully we can chat. Hopefully there's a football season, and I'd like to talk to you before that Grizz game coming up in September. But stay safe, keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Okay, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. You have a great one.
You too. That is Coach Bobby Petrino, the Missouri State football coach. And interesting, like he said, they haven't been able to meet with the team yet. And he took over in January. They weren't able to get spring ball, and they've just been able to, FaceTime, Zoom, Skype. Does anybody Skype still anymore? I don't know, but interesting. Appreciate Coach Petrino, though, taking the time out to chat with us here on the Jason Walker Show and the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and when we do, we'll check in with Senator Steve Daines, the great senator from the state of Montana, will join us and talk minor league baseball and maybe even pizza. Yeah, I'm going to ask him about pizza in Bozeman because it is National Pizza Party Day. And we'll talk to Coach Daines about that, or Coach Daines. Well, Senator Daines, when we return. This last segment brought to you by Ruckers Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Ruckers Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Ruckers Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Ruckers, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Ruckers Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Spring is fast approaching and summer is just around the corner, so now is the time to get those windows tinted at Auto Concepts as the sun starts to heat up. Tinting is the best way to keep the sun out of your little one's eyes driving down the road. Plus, it just looks cool. Auto Concepts is your exclusive 3M dealer for tinting as well as the best clear bras in town. Auto Concepts clear bras will not fade or yellow over time. And don't forget about suspension lifts and power steps for your rig too. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com or check them out on Facebook. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
I'm done with this.
Thinking about trying something new? The Montana Air National Guard has so many exciting career fields to choose from, many that can open up opportunities in your civilian life. The best part? You'll be getting paid to learn a new trade skill right here at home. What are you waiting for? Let's get you in school and get you paid. Contact Leak Fecto at 406-788-8962.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Finally, Friday on the Jason Walker Show. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks to Bobby Petrino, legendary college football coach, joining us a little bit earlier. If you missed anything, you can always rewatch or re-listen, JasonWalkerShow.com. Of course, you can always watch live every day at 4 on Facebook and YouTube, and listen, podbean.com, Network One Sports, also treasurestateradio.com. And here in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a big announcement. I don't know if it's a big announcement. We're going to have an announcement. So that's cool. Great guest next week lined up already, too. John Russell will join us next Thursday. Longtime radio guy down in Bozeman, and he's got a book out. And I just want to chat with him about the history of Montana. It's really good stuff. John Russell will join us, good friend. Tuesday, MSU Northern Wrestling coach Tyson Teverge. And Monday, Cassie Turner, Miss Last Chance Stampede. But we're going to talk high school rodeo finals, which got the approval to go from Fallon County down at Baker. And then Wednesday, future LPGA star Haley Ostrom will join us. And, well, I'm not going to ruin that surprise. There's another great guest we're going to talk to, maybe next Friday or the week after. So, just great stuff. All right, so, baseball. We don't know if there's even going to be a major league season, let alone Pioneer League in the minors, or Legion. But one thing we do know is that our congressional delegation from the state of Montana, on both sides of the party, both sides of the aisle, both parties, Senator John Tester and Representative Greg Gianforte, along with Senator Steve Daines, all together supporting the saving of minor league baseball, especially the Pioneer League. Had a chance to catch up with the great senator from Montana, Steve Daines. He joins us now here on the Jason Walker Show on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline.
How are you?
I am doing wonderful, sir. It is a pleasure to chat with you. How are you out there in D.C.?
You know, doing okay. I'm thankful I get back to Montana every weekend, even while we're in session. So I go back and forth. And but, you know, we had that 5 weeks after we passed that big care pack at the end of March where we were just doing everything from home. And just kind of this brave new world we're in. You know, you're seeing it in your job and using Zoom a lot to have meetings.
I'm trying to figure out the Zoom deal. It's it's a little above my pay grade right now, Senator.
No, you need to find a teenager. That's what I did.
That's exactly right. Hey, take me through this proposal that you submitted last week to Major League Baseball and Minor League Baseball to really extend the current agreement 2 more years because, like we all know, we don't know if we're going to even have a baseball season at any level right now.
Well, we don't. And that's why we got to keep the full court press on at the moment with Major League Baseball Commissioner Manfred and the Minor League Baseball President O'Connor. And the letter simply said, okay, because of COVID-19, we want to extend the current agreement out to 2022. It was set to expire this fall, September of 20, and there were negotiations about extending to 2021. But I think with everything going on with COVID, let's just put a stake in the ground, extend the current agreement out to 22, and that will give us time to sort through all the details. I mean, you think about the heritage that baseball has in Montana. You know, Jason, I grew up in Bozeman, went to kindergarten through college here. And, you know, my days were remembering watching Dave McNally, you know, Pride of Billings and Jeff Ballard, these guys. And then you look at these Hall of Famers that came through Rookie League in Montana. You know, George Brett's out of Billings, right? Yeah. Ryan Sandberg out of Helena. You got Pedro Martinez out of Great Falls. And, I mean, I'm a guy that grew up, you know, when my dad, who served in the Marine Corps, in fact, he listed there in Billings, Montana, way back when. But, you know, we used to talk about Charlie Pride, right? The story when he played for Missoula back in 1960. And so this rich heritage we have in Montana that actually goes back to the late 1800s. You know, that's why we got to keep fighting to keep this going forward. I think it's bigger than baseball. This is really about the fabric of our communities and pulling us together.
You mentioned George Brett. It is actually his birthday today, so there you go. Senator Steve Daines joining us here on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. All right, this is the most I have seen both sides of Congress, really both sides of the aisle, work together in quite some time. It is really on the minor league baseball deal. Is this something that, because it affects everybody in every state, that
we can all find a common ground on this?
Well, boy, you sure hope so, right? This is where people should set aside the red jerseys, the blue jerseys, and say, let's do the right thing for America's pastime. And so it's nice to see certain issues that bring Congress together. Unfortunately, Jason, that list is becoming shorter and shorter. This issue, I don't think anybody cares if it's a Republican or Democrat at the moment. They just want to solve the problem and keep minor league baseball, these rookie leagues especially, in these communities that will be hit the hardest. I mean, by definition, these rookie league teams are normally in smaller communities, and so we are disproportionately hit harder if they were ever to pull out.
With this proposal and 2 more years, and like we've talked about, we don't know, Senator, if we're even going to play baseball this summer. What would it? I mean, we know that you were trying to get the extension for a year, but now 2 years. But what ideally needs to happen in the next few months for this to be able to even be possible?
Yeah, I tell you, it raises a bigger question about what it's going to take to get fans back into ballparks, what's going to get people back into summer concerts. And, I mean, think about we're going to lose a Little League baseball season here as well. Think about the kids. I'm a baseball dad. My kids played in traveling teams here in Montana during those great years. And when you look back as a mother or a father, some of your greatest memories you have is leaning over that chain link fence and watching your kid play baseball. It just is. And that's what life's all about. And we just have to get back to that sense of normal again. And so there's a bigger question around what it's going to take to get everybody back fully engaged. And I think the importance of some more testing. We've got vaccines and some of these new drugs are coming out in the market, which are going to be very important. But I think in the short term, it'll help if MLB starts playing. I know they're talking about playing in fanless stadiums, but it's a step in the right direction. Let's get the guys out there playing again. And then let's follow suit with being able to go to the games here as quickly as possible and in kind of a safe way. But the other part for what we face here in Montana, we want to get these owners and to get these leaders in MLB and as well as in minor league baseball come out to Montana, spend some time in Billings, go see Dealer Park, go to Missoula, see Ogren Park. Go to the Great Falls Voyagers and see the Veterans Memorial Park. So I think if they see what a big deal this is for our community, it's one thing to be looking at a spreadsheet back at headquarters, back east. It's another thing to look the fans in the eyes, look at these communities, and I think that'll help ensure they make the right decision here for Montana.
I grew up in Bozeman too, and the one thing we never got was a Pioneer League team in Bozeman. I mean, we built Heroes Park with the anticipation of it happening, but it never did come. The Pioneer League, Senator, is leaving Montana more and more, and we only have 3 teams remaining. How important is it to keep those 3 that we have? Because those 3, especially Great Falls and Billings, 2 of the 3, are really the bread and butter of baseball in the state.
Well, I tell you, I mean, I think you have to look at it through 2 important lenses. One is just this pastime of bringing us together during the summertime. And as you know, Jason, our summers in Montana can be a little on the short side anyway. Yeah. So let's make sure we've got all options here to enjoy America's favorite pastime in baseball. But let's not forget the economic impact, right? Around what it generates in our local economies, what the Mustangs do, what the Paddleheads do. I mean, these are significant economic drivers for our communities, and it's compounded with the current COVID-19 crisis, right? I mean, we've got 90,000 Montanans are out of work right now, and so this is not the right time for like a gut punch to these communities when we need to have everything, both in terms of just lifting our spirits, be able to go to a ball game, as well as the economic impact that is in the millions of dollars across Montana.
Senator Steve Daines, our guest here, Jason Walker Show. A couple of quick final questions for you, but will football start on time in the state of Montana? And if there's a chance, would you like to see more than one Cat Grizz game per year?
Well, after last fall, I'd like to see a Cat Grizz game every weekend. So I know every Grizz listener now is going to be upset, but let's be clear. I think, Jason, I'm the first Bobcat to ever serve in the House and the Senate in Washington, D.C. The Grizzlies have always sent folks back, because that's what law school is. I'm an engineer, not a lawyer. And so I'm a proud Bobcat, although my dad's a Grizzly. My mom was pregnant with me in Missoula, putting my dad through school once upon a time. So I probably heard that tummy as a grizzly bear nonsense before I was even born. But, it's one of the great rivalries, right, in Montana and in the nation. And I'll tell you, after last fall, and I know as Bobcats we have to maintain our humility because we've had some pretty dark streaks in the past.
Oh, yeah.
But, we were walking through the dark valley there for many years, as you remember very well.
All too well.
But it was such a great rivalry.
So COVID-19, it is National Pizza Party Day, and you being in Bozeman, I have a feeling what you might say, but what's one of the best pizza joints in the state of Montana?
Well, I mean, we've got a few right here in Bozeman started, with McKenzie River here in Bozeman once upon a time. But, we spread it out. I'll tell you, we'll go to grab a Rose's Pizza occasionally. And then if you want to go way back, old school, of course, the Pizza Oven here in Bozeman.
Oh, yeah.
When I was, a kid growing up here in the 60s and 70s, that was kind of the go-to. And that was back, Village Inn was just coming to town way back when. That was kind of a big deal. So I'm kind of an old school guy. It relates to that. That's the old Bozeman, though, Jason. Way before a lot of these other operations came to town.
Another one for you. It's right up there by campus. Columbo's. It's been around a long time.
So Columbo's, great shout out. My one of my best friends, Dan. They played on their softball team. They had a old, kind of like quote unquote old guy softball team. And now when I say that, I'd be too old to be on the old guy team. But when I was in high school, and that was back with Columbo's and so forth, going way back. And so you're exactly right. That's back when the A&W used to be right in the corner there.
Wow. Yeah. Yep. I know you're a busy guy, Senator. I appreciate the time, and thank you for updating us. Hope to stay in touch. Stay safe, and keep up the good work out there in D.C. for us.
Hey, Jason, thanks much. Good to chat with you.
That was a fun conversation with Senator Steve Daines. We appreciate him joining us on a Friday. Busy. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if his letter has any impact. And I know there's a lot of people in Congress behind the proposal to extend for two more years for minor league baseball and Major League Baseball to work together. Saw this earlier today. Speaking of Bozeman, Montana State's fall semester. This is apparently official. So Montana State University's fall semester will begin 2 weeks earlier than normal, and then will end. Right before Thanksgiving in an attempt to limit the spread of the coronavirus, according to an email that President Waded Cruzado sent out today. So classes in Bozeman will begin August 17th. The last day of the semester and final exams will end Wednesday, November 25th. And then spring semester 2021 at Montana State set to begin January 11th and end May 10th. So that's normal. But that's an extended winter break, and they're talking maybe a winter session like they do summer sessions. Was it MSU Snowmester is what they said in there? So this new schedule will be a combination of some online and some in-person classing. And according to the email, it will, think about this, and it actually makes sense. Cruzado said in her email, the new schedule also reduces the possibility of having the flu and COVID-19 on campus simultaneously. The decision has come after a consultation with public health experts, university leadership, the Bozeman School District, Gallatin City County Health Department, and students who have indicated they prefer in-person classes to online instruction. So don't be surprised maybe if we see more of the campuses around Montana doing this. So Montana State's fall semester will start August 17th, and then it will end November 25th. That came out today. President Waded Cruzado. She's a pretty smart lady. All right. So we saw that. And that's big news because that means, if that's the case, that MSU football, volleyball,
cross country, spring, or fall sports would be able to be on campus and get going. We heard Bobby Petrino say Missouri State's going to open up potentially the first week of June, which allows everything. So maybe we're starting to get back to some normalcy. And I said at the outset of the show, I'm tired of sounding like liberal media and putting that fear factor into you because that's not my intention. I'm just pointing out facts and now we're starting to get some questions. Some, not all, but some. All right, let's get to On This Day in History. It is, May 15th. On this date, brought to you by the Motherlode Sports Bar, Casino, and Restaurant. It is National Chocolate Chip Day. It is Nylon Stocking Day. I actually wore those during basketball when I played, and I still do. Tell you why. If you wear 2 pairs of socks, you put some nylons in between the socks, it prevents the sticking so you don't get blisters. It is Peace Officer Memorial Day, and we send every piece of thank you to our peace officers and really all of our essential workers. It is NASCAR Day, Bike to Work Day, Defense Transportation Day, Endangered Species Day, and National Pizza Party Day. So there you go. On this date in 1862, the first baseball enclosure opened at Union Grounds, Brooklyn. And that day in 1862 also marked the first time the national anthem, some 70 years prior to being officially termed the national anthem, was played before a baseball game. 1862. 1905, Las Vegas was founded. And we've not all been the same since. 1912, Ty Cobb, the Dennis Rodman of his era, Ty Cobb rushed a heckler at a New York Highlander game and was suspended. 1937, at the 62nd Preakness, War Admiral would win, also won the Triple Crown that year. 1941, Joe DiMaggio started his 56-game hitting streak on this date. 1948, the 73rd Preakness, another Triple Crown winner, Citation, with Eddie Acaro aboard, would win the second leg of the Triple Crown. 1953, in his first heavyweight world title defense, Rocky Marciano knocked out Jersey Joe Walcott in the first round. 1959, the 100th anniversary of the first college baseball game, Amherst and Williams. They reenacted that original contest. On this date, 1973, Nolan Ryan of the then California Angels tossed his first no-hitter. He had 7, a record that'll never be broke. 1981, Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island aired. Why in the heck did they just not leave with the Globetrotters? Why did they stay? I mean, they had dozens of opportunities to leave. The best was with the Globetrotters. But that episode aired on this date in 1981. Happy birthdays today. There is a lot of great athletes born on this date. 1953, George Brett, Hall of Fame third baseman from the Kansas City Royals, 13-time All-Star, born in Glendale, West Virginia. I got to caddy for George Brett in a golf tournament in Bozeman, Jan Stenerud Celebrity Golf Tournament. I didn't pay for anything for 2 days. I made bank. And the first time I met George Brett, I walk up to him and we introduced each other. And he goes, "You can ask me about anything but the Yankees. I effing hate the Yankees." So we didn't for 2 days. I know he had a great time at Stacy's Bar that weekend as well, out in Gallant Gateway. 1956, happy birthday to the man, the idol, the best in the business, Dan Patrick. 1967, John Smoltz was born. 1969, Emmett Smith was born. 1975, Ray Lewis. 1987, Andy Murray. 1976, on this day, Ryan Leaf was born. I'd still love to get Ryan on the show. He won't come on, but because he likes to, he only does media when it makes him look good. But happy birthday to one of the, if not the biggest bust in NFL history. One death on this date, 2003, a member of the family, actually. June Carter Cash died at 73 today on this date in 2003. June Carter Cash, we are related to the Carter family in the Walker household. Walker family. So there you go. All right, that was On This Day in History, brought to you by the Motherlode. Let's do this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
The walk-off is brought to you by our great friends over at Cafe Zydeco. Make sure you get over to all of our great food sponsors and check them out. And by the way, go to Green Meadow Country Club, get signed up, and if you had already signed up, we could have been partners this week at Moose Milk Golf Tournament for members only. Next year, get signed up. Tell them you heard it on the Jason Walker Show. We'll golf a lot. Had a buddy text me this morning at like 6:30. He's like, hey, you want to go get 18 in? And I was like, if I didn't have a doctor's appointment, I totally would have. But then it rained all day. So anyway, Green Meadow Country Club, get signed up. The Badlands Bowl got canceled, and not surprised. It was going to be the last year anyway. They are not going to reschedule, which, perfect. The Augusta Rodeo was canceled. Not postponed, it was canceled. And I go back to what I've been saying the last couple of weeks. I don't want to sound like a member of the liberal media, and I never will again, I promise, because I don't want to throw fear at you. But what it is about, or what is it about this coronavirus, COVID-19, that we just don't have an answer to? The entire world shut down. The entire sports world shut down. The PBR back this weekend in Guthrie, Oklahoma, live on CBS Sports Network, and then championship round live on CBS. And hey, monkey, come on in. Here's little Winnie. I don't know what you're doing. Are you going over to books? Yep. Okay. She's going to read probably a good baseball book. There's some Carson Cunningham books there. She can read some of those. But anyway, so that's where I'm staying. I'm not preaching fear like liberal media. I just want answers to a lot of legitimate questions. What are you doing, goofball? Oh, she's a little sad. It's tired day. All right, so there you go. Great week of guests. Thanks to Steve Keller, Pete Van Mollem, NAI President Jim Carr, Sam Herder, Bobby Petrino, Senator Steve Daines. Next week, Cassie Turner joins us. This Last Chance Stampede. We're going to talk some high school rodeo finals. Tyson Teavers, Northern Rodeo coach John Russell next week. And Haley Ostrom will join us. Yep, I'm looking forward to chatting with her. Have yourself a great weekend. Stay safe. And think about this. If you don't like what I say, come on the show and talk to me about it. Don't be a keyboard warrior. Nobody likes you if you're a keyboard warrior. And nobody believes you. And nobody's going to take your ass serious. Have yourself a great weekend. We will see you Monday. Jason Walker Show. Rewatch JasonWalkerShow.com. Bye.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch,